At first, I would like to start by asking a simple question. Does the sun appear to have one color? Well, at first, most of us may answer by saying that the sun does appear to have one color, which is white. But according to the scientific observations about the sun, when looking closely, it will appear to have darker regions on the surface, and these regions are basically called sunspots. So what are sunspots? Sunspots are basically temporary distributed areas in the solar photosphere that appear dark because they're about 2000 Celsius cooler than the surrounding areas. Like, can you imagine how cool they are compared to the rest of the sun's surface, which has a temperature of nearly 5500 Celsius? This decrease in temperature in some regions of the surface, which are sunspots, are caused by various concentrations of the magnetic flux of the sun. They usually occur in pairs of groups of opposite polarity that move in unison across the surface of the sun as it rotates. Now, you may wonder, how are sunspots discovered and who was to discover them or observe them in the first place? Well, the first scientist that was able to observe sunspots is Galileo Galilei back in 1609 with a haloscope, which is an observing instrument used for viewing the sun to protect the eye from the sun's glare. These are some of the earliest representations he made of sunspots in one of his books published in 1613. There has been other questions that scientists asked about sunspots. Like, what is their proper size? Their sizes were found ranging from 16 kilometers to 160,000 kilometers. Like, can you imagine how large and how small they can be? The largest sunspot ever seen was observed in 2014, and it was found to be at the size of the planet Jupiter. The other question is, what is the cause of sunspots, or what basically causes them in general? Well, what causes sunspots is basically the changes in the solar magnetic activity. Now let's explore more about the solar magnetic activity of the sun. Why does the sun have a magnetic activity in the first place? Well, the sun is a huge ball of electrically charged hot gas. This charged gas moves, generating a powerful magnetic field. The changes in the sun's magnetic field have been detected over the years with satellites and solar observatories like SOHO. You can see SOHO represented in this photo, and it basically stands for the Solar Heliospheric Observatory. And it's a project of international collaboration between ESA, which is the European Space Agency, and NASA, the American National Aeronautics and Space Administration, that was launched on December 2, 1995, to study the sun from its deep core to the outer corona and the solar wind. Nowadays, most of the observations of sunspots are achieved with SOHO. Are the changes in the sun's magnetic field cyclic? Well, yes, they are found to be cyclic, and they basically happen every 11 years or so, where the sun magnetic field completely flips, similar to what happens in the Earth's magnetic field. It means that the sun north and south poles switch places. Then it takes about another 11 years for the sun north and south poles to flip back again. The solar cycle affects activity on the surface of the sun, such as sunspots. Therefore, sunspots change and go through cycles every 11 years. And this is a representation of the sun's magnetic fields. Feel free to ask questions. Like, do you have any questions about sunspots that you may ask for me or Ila? I'd be very happy to hear you.
You can raise your hand or you can write in the chat if you have any question.
So are there any questions? We'll be very glad to answer them. So no questions for now? Maybe we can answer them later or even in the coming days. So we have a Kahoot game with Ilaf now. I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, so guys, if you can join us from other device, or maybe from your same device, but use this BIN and make sure that actually you see the question from our screen, and then you answer it from your device. Okay, guys, so is there anyone who wants to join, or can we start? Okay, so I will start, and I think anyone who wants to join, they can join during the game. Okay, so the first question is, the sunspots consist of? Okay, good job, everyone. So the answer was the strong magnetic flux. Second question, one of the first scientists who discovered the sunspots.
So yeah, the correct answer is Galilei Galilei. Well done for everyone who answered the correct answer.
Why do the sunspots appear darker than the area around them?
It's because they're cooler. It's just as simple as that. Well done.
The largest sunspot ever seen was about the size of.
At the size of the planet Jupiter. Well done.
The international collaboration between ESA and NASA to study the sun is.
The international collaboration is SOHO. Excellent.
The solar cycle takes.
It takes about 11 years. Good job.
And the last question is, sunspots were first observed in 1609. Is it true or false?
So the correct answer is true. Good job to you all.
And now let's see the winners. Hanan in the third place. Good job. And Jenna in the second place. And the first place is Leanne.
Yeah,
Congratulations and thank you, everyone.
You did all great. I hope you all enjoyed the lesson today. Thank you very much for your great attention throughout the whole lesson. Looking forward to meeting you again on Sunday at 7 p.m. Goodbye and have a good night.